My name's Genene Wilson. I'm a Senior Financial Planner with Omniwealth. Well, it won't come as a surprise that many people do a lot of research first, and sometimes you find that people come to you with a lot of information, but they don't actually know how to put that together into a plan, and that's where I can help. Absolutely. I work with a lot of high net worth families and individuals, and certainly I've worked with a number of those families' children, so the next generation for that wealth. It's really important that we teach our kids how to manage their money and how to look after the investments. And if I was a client with a lot of money to hand over to the next generation, certainly what I'd be looking for is that they're going to be able to manage it on an enduring basis. And so I've worked with clients from family offices and helping those kids understand that, the 101 of finance, the 101 of tax, the 101 of super, all of that sort of thing, to really educate them. And at Omniwealth we really are based on educational foundations, and that's where one of my passions lies, on teaching people to help themselves. The cost really does depend on what sort of services and the advisor that you're going to be working with, so what your circumstances are. I would always suggest people get a quote up front, and that they understand that the person they're going to be dealing with can help them in the area that they need advice. So if you need or want to establish a self-managed superannuation fund, make sure that that person's got that expertise. Fees, of course, vary, so get that quote, it'll make a difference. In terms of will it change the outcome, absolutely. I feel that every client that I've worked with over the years, I've helped them get a better outcome. That might be just saving a lot of money on tax, but it's been very relevant to them. And it's important to make sure when you're selecting an advisor that you feel that you're getting the value that you want for the fee that you're paying. And I would always suggest that people talk to one or two advisors just to make sure that they're getting that comparison. Look, I think it's a combination of things that you look for when selecting an advisor. Knowledge and experience and being able to give advice in your, to fill your goal or need is vital. But shopping around, you can spend a lot of time, and sometimes people get caught up in this analysis paralysis when they're doing that. You don't want that, but I'd say do your research up front, select a couple of advisors that you're going to see. People often make recommendations. You potentially want to see those people who are being recommended to you. Certainly in the Omniwealth business, and for myself, most of my clients come from referral sources, so someone I've already worked with is recommending me. And just go along and talk to a couple of advisors just so you've got a point of reference to compare. The final thing I'd say on that is, yes, it's absolutely vital that you feel that you're going to be able to work with someone. I need to be able to feel as an advisor that I can work with a client, and the client needs to be comfortable in working with me. You'll get the best outcome that way. That can be quite a difficult assumption. I mean, I think sometimes people would be working with a planner, and a few things might have caused them to have some concern about that advisor and whether they're getting the best advice. And I think it is good to take pause and make a comparison if possible. But the first place I'd look is really to ask myself, am I getting what I believe I'm paying for? So look at what the services were that were offered to you initially and whether you're still getting that service. If you're offered, a review each 6 months, have you been getting it? If you're offered a monthly report, are you getting it? If you're offered, service around the clock whereby you can shoot off any questions that are, important to you, are you getting a response within a reasonable amount of time without the hassle of having to follow people up constantly? And I think that's the first place to start. If those needs are being met and you're satisfied, then you can probably move on. But if they aren't being met, then that's probably the time to just ask a few questions and perhaps meet other advisors. Certainly people in the advice space, such as myself, we keep up with the times, what's changing, what's new in investments, what's new in the space. And, sometimes people don't do that, other planners may not do that. And so, it's good to get a comparison just to make sure that you're set. I think one of the things that comes to mind for my clients is, as people age, you just want to make sure that you've got somebody in place that you can trust with your hard-earned assets in the long term. So it's important to make sure that you have that trusted relationship, because certainly there'll come a point at some time in the future where you either won't necessarily be interested, or you may not have the capacity or desire to do it anymore. And you just want to make sure that you've got someone who you can rely on and who's doing what they say they're going to do for you. Okay, so look, I think that I help people in such a way that it suits what they're trying to achieve. So sometimes people come to me and they want to develop a whole financial plan, and sometimes they might have a specific problem that they're trying to solve, and I can help them in that area too. It just depends what they're looking for. But I think when I think about why I do this, I think that I'm really passionate about helping people, and given my knowledge and experience, I'm able to do that and add value to that relationship and to the outcome for that person. And I really wanted to help change people's lives.